Hello, and welcome to OpenInfra Days Kenya. Thank you very much to the OpenInfra user group there in Kenya for putting this event on, and I hope you have an exciting time talking about open source and open infrastructure. My name is Jimmy MacArthur. I'm the Director of Business Development for the OpenInfra Foundation. That means that I'm in the fun position of getting to talk to people all over the world about their open source journey, and in particular, how they're using software from the OpenInfra Foundation. Today, I want to talk to you about open source as a catalyst for digital transformation. This is a tumultuous time in tech. Data centers are rapidly changing to accommodate AI workloads on new GPU and vGPU chips. Proprietary software licensing changes are causing unexpected and outrageous expenses in cloud infrastructure. And countries are increasingly concerned about the security and sovereignty of their data and their digital footprint. But I believe that Kenya is on a path towards uh, extricating themselves from the big three, the Microsoft and Amazon and Google, and they're exploring open source software and creating an open source ecosystem that creates both opportunity and keeps talent there in Kenya. And indeed, I think Kenya is seeing similar things that we're seeing globally and in markets all over the world. There are three kind of major things that are driving the infrastructure market right now. The first is digital sovereignty. You want to know where your data is, and you want to ensure that your citizens or your customers' digital rights and privacy is respected. And licensing rug pulls. I mentioned VMware earlier. This is basically when a company comes along and changes either their open source license out of the blue or perhaps changes the terms of their agreement, like VMware has done, and increasing costs by up to 500 times for their customers. And then AI, we all know that this is a massive thing globally right now. Uh, but in particular, AI is redefining infrastructure and it's causing companies to take another look at modernizing their data center, decreasing the footprint of their older servers, and using new technologies like GPUs. And all of this kind of combined creates this leap that we're all taking together, this digital leap into the next generation of open infrastructure. And we see the safe path for taking this leap is through open source. As you look towards modernizing your data center to help manage these new workloads and these new changes, open source offers a path forward. And that's where the Open Infra Foundation comes in. We build open source software for infrastructure. And we build communities that foster and help build that software. You might be familiar with OpenStack. It's our 15th anniversary this year. It's our 15th birthday, so happy birthday to OpenStack. But we have other projects like Starling X, which combines OpenStack, Kubernetes, and Ceph at the edge for a lightweight solution for managing your virtualization workloads. Zool, which came out of the OpenInfra or OpenStack tooling. It started as a CI/CD project, but it's actually turned into this massive project gating uh, solution, which takes large open source or any project really with multiple projects internally and helps build it all together and prevent errors going into production. And then Kata containers, which I'm not sure if you know, but 87% of container workloads in production right now are insecure. And Kata provides a lightweight virtual machine to wrap around your container with no performance hits and gives you the security of a VM, but the speed of containers. So those are a few of our projects. And we hope that as you implement these uh, in your solution, into your stack, that you'll get a little bit further and you'll build that bridge from that digital leap. And so I want to dig into these a little bit. I know Kenya recently was selected as one of the countries that's hosting an OSPO for the UN, which is awesome. But the UN itself actually runs on OpenStack. They built something called Unique Cloud, which serves all the departments in the UN, and they rely on OpenStack to create a secure open source solution and to help protect the valuable workloads that for the business that they're doing globally. And Lidl, which is a really interesting case study out of Germany. Germany is kind of leading the forefront on digital sovereignty efforts and has very strict rules about where their data can sit. Lidl initially developed a cloud for their customers, but it became so feature rich and so successful that they actually launched it as a competing service against hyperscaler like AWS and Microsoft. And all of the data is held in Germany and is and Austria and adheres with all of the strict privacy laws that they have there. If you're interested in a case study, you can check out the QR code there on your screen. It's, as I mentioned, quite interesting. And I mentioned the licensing rug pulls. So what's really cool here is um, the way that open source communities are able to respond to drastic changes or rapid changes in the market. I don't believe proprietary software can work in this way. In late 2023, the foundation recognized that the VMware was going to be a massive deal when Broadcom acquired it, but also that these changes coming along with AI were going to require some retuning of our software. So the OpenStack upstream community immediately within the first release of 2024 started responding. And over the next three releases, we do two a year, up to the most recent in April with Epoxy 2025, they've added things like bootc image support and Ironic, which helps with your bare metal deployments, enhanced GPU acceleration to meet those AI demands. And for folks coming from the VMware to OpenStack, those VMware refugees, it adds direct file system mounting. It adds expanded storage driver support and Prometheus support, and all these things that can help ease that transition for those folks moving off of VMware to OpenStack. And again, that's just within three releases. If you want to read some more about some of those migrations case studies, you can check that out on our website. And to go into the migration piece a little bit more, I worked directly with 30 of our ecosystem partners and members to create just this year a VMware to OpenStack migration guide. Now, this guide helps anyone from C-level decision makers all the way down to developers understand what it means to move from VMware to OpenStack. It's got a direct comparison of features, but also talks about what the ecosystem looks like, who the storage vendors are, who you can work with as a partner to help you migrate your services. So this is a great resource. And again, I would urge you to check that QR code out and take a look at that VMware migration guide. Now for AI, I think a lot of people didn't see OpenStack initially as a solution for AI workloads. It seemed, but OpenStack has been running HPC workloads for companies like CERN for years. And it's a natural progression. And I think you'll see more and more of this as companies like NextGen, who is one of the top 10 buyers of GPUs in the world, is running their AI cloud on top of OpenStack. The UK's Dawn supercomputer, fastest supercomputer in the UK, it's running OpenStack, but it's also, they worked with one of our silver members, Stack HPC, to help build that out. And another one of our silver members, FPT Smart Cloud, is is working directly with Vietnamese banks to run OpenStack to ensure that they've got a secure cloud platform for their customers, serving up more than 1 million requests per day and up to 10,000 requests per minute in some cases. And all of this would not be possible without our global community of over 110,000 people and from over 700 plus organizations in 187 countries. All of these people together work together upstream and create an ecosystem and hire the developers that work on this software. And then we have our regional strength, our user groups, just like there in Kenya. This is a picture from my recent trip to Vietnam 3 weeks ago, where I had the pleasure of speaking at the OpenInfra Days there in Vietnam. They've got a growing community, and they're really poised to help grow the open source and OpenStack market there in Vietnam. And then, of course, we have the foundation members. These are our paying members that help support the philosophy and the work that we're doing at the OpenInfra Foundation. And at the platinum and gold level, they're actually working directly with our board of directors to help define the direction of the software now and over the next decade. And then our silver members are help support the mission of the foundation and help, as I said, for things like VMware Migration Guide and help create these efforts that better educate the market on what's going on with OpenStack and our other projects like Starling X. And I'm not sure if you've heard, but we recently joined forces with the Linux Foundation, which is great. There's a massive opportunity as we unite forces with the Linux Foundation to help expand our mission of open source and open collaboration. And indeed, a few years ago, we identified kind of a trend in the market that we came to call the OpenInfra Blueprint, and that's OpenStack running Kubernetes and on top of Linux. And this blueprint is kind of appearing everywhere. And this collaboration with the Linux Foundation gives us an opportunity to work more closely with the CNCF communities, the Linux Foundation, the Kubernetes community. So this is a big opportunity for us to really work together and help shape the software in a way that helps meet the needs of every level of the stack. And these other pieces of open source software also help us build that bridge and feel more secure in our digital leap. Projects like Ceph and Kubernetes working together with OpenStack. And the OpenInfra Blueprint is not just theoretical. You can check out openinfra.org/blueprint to find out a bit more about what we're talking about. But companies like Hyundai, Walmart, Viatel, they're all running these massive workloads on top of this blueprint. And Viatel in particular just opened a massive green data center in Vietnam with over 60,000 servers and 2,400 racks. And they've already moved all of their customers' workloads from VMware to OpenStack. And that's running Linux, Ceph, OpenStack, Kubernetes. That's that blueprint. And then KT Cloud is another example in Korea. They're part of the KT group. They've actually partnered with one of our platinum members, Rackspace, and they're building out and moving all of their workloads onto OpenStack. And again, using that OpenInfra Blueprint. So if you're interested in learning more about the OpenInfra Blueprint, our collaboration and joining with the Linux Foundation, or any other questions you might have about the OpenInfra Foundation or our software, I would urge you to attend the OpenInfra Summit, October 17th through 19th this year in Paris. And you can read more about it at summit2025.openinfra.org. Tickets are reasonably priced, and we would hope to see you there. And thank you very much for allowing me to speak. And I hope you have a wonderful OpenInfra Days Kenya. And I look forward to building the next decade of open infrastructure with you all. Thank you very much.